Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherry Hansen. Thank you for joining us today. We're getting very close to Christmas. I have two of our patriarchs of the community of Vergas with me today, and I thank you, gentlemen. I've got Alwyn Martinson and Rodney Hansen, and these guys remember what Christmas was like a long time ago, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about that. There's a couple things I want to talk to you about first before we get into that, and one of them is don't forget that you can get holiday bucks at the Vergas State Bank. They're sponsored by the Vergas Community Club. And what those holiday bucks are is you come in and you can buy up to $200 worth of them, and they're 15% off. So if you buy $100, you pay $87.50. And so, or 85. I work at a bank. Anyway, you get the idea. They're 15% off, but those are good to do any shopping in Vergas. And I really encourage you to shop in Vergas. And we're going to talk to Rodney a little bit about how maybe the holiday shopping has changed. You know, it is very easy to go out on the internet. It is very easy to go to those box stores, but those box stores and those internet companies are not the ones that are supporting our community. And I can't tell you enough how important it is to try to shop local and go in and support those businesses that provide things for you throughout the whole year whenever you need them. And as we're talking about that, something that's totally un-Christmas related, because it's about the trail, there is something I did want to mention to everybody. By December 31st, there is a very important piece that I need everybody to try to do, and that's go out on the City of Vergas website. If you're a Vergas Community Club, a member of the City of Vergas, if you live in the City of Vergas, and also if you have a business in Vergas, we are applying for a grant again to get the trail to be completed from Long Lake Park to Tin Can Alley. And with that grant money, you know, it would enable us to do that with some fundraisers, but it's very important to get letters of support. And there's sample letters of support out on the City of Vergas website that you just need to fill in your business name, you need to sign it, and you need to drop it off at the city office with Julie by December 31st. It's really important for us to show our community support for that. So, you know, just the way that Vergas does it, you know, we just support each other and we try to get good things going, not only for you, our community members, to be enjoying, but to bring people in. And so we can show them how great Vergas is. And I know, Alwyn, you think Vergas is pretty great, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. You were going to talk to me a little bit about, and I don't remember this, but I do remember seeing pictures of it down at Rodney's place about the tree that they would place in the middle of the street.
They had a big Christmas tree right in the intersection here by the bank and Goodman's. And I remember it because I brought our children in one Christmas, and Donna, my daughter, and Lori Dahlgren, they were good friends, and they were about 8 years old. And at the time, Gordon was the mayor of Vergas, and he got up on Bob Chambers' truck was parked there, and he got up on the truck to pass out the candy bags or something. Anyway, Lori says to Donna, "There's my dad up there acting like a big shot."
Yeah, okay. Well, I do remember, Alwyn, when they would have the Santa Claus Day up in top of the liquor store in the old creamery building, and we'd have movies, and they would pass candy out, and I imagine you brought your children to that too.
Yes.
Well, you know, it was a time for people to come in. I'm going to grab that from you. It was a time for people to come in and to be, it was a big day, Santa Claus Day in town, because that's when your people from the country would come in and they would do their shopping, wouldn't they, Rodney?
Yes, that's right. Shopping in Vergas was important back in the 30s and the 40s. Everybody patronized the hometown. There were no box stores. Hard to remember that there were 3 grocery stores on Main Street. Our hardware store was going strong, and people like Oscar Elke would have peanuts in big bags in front of the store, and Hank Kinsey would have Louis Fitzka out front. And it was a crowded time. Everybody was happy. The grade school in Vergas at that time had probably 80 people in it, so there was a lot of young life around here. And I can remember the strange things as kids that we'd try to hop a ride behind the sleds coming into town, horses and sleds, and we'd hook a ride skiing behind them, then you go back out of town the other way. So it was a different life for us. But it was sure a good life, and I know it won't come back. But it's still, you can still think of Vergas as your hometown, and do what you can here in town. There's room for your business here, and we've got to keep the town alive.
You know, Rodney, you're right. By shopping local, there's times where you maybe just need something and you want to run uptown quick and get it. Well, what you have to do is imagine if that store is not there for you to just run uptown and get it, or if this business has closed their doors because they're not supported during the year.
Yes, that's absolutely true, and I know price is a factor, but you can think of it as a donation.
It's your way to support the town.
In a different way, support the town. You can do your part. And I wanted to mention something about the tree, too. That tree tradition dates way back to, I think it's probably 65 years ago. Mm-hmm. I remember the tree there, too. And I was just talking to Pat Elke the other day, and kidding her about the time her husband, Hunts, before they got married, drove into the tree on the lights in the back, and they didn't know it was him until they found his license plate down there by the ice. And a lot of it.
Well,
so she got a kick out of that.
Wasn't it by the tree that they would cut out the big ice blocks, too?
That's right. They had lights on it, and then to avoid people running into it, they put ice blocks all the way around the bottom, cut from Long Lake, and it was really a pretty sight. And the community club sponsored that at that time.
Yeah, I'm sure it was beautiful. But Rodney, there is one thing that makes me think about. I rever the experience and the wisdom of my patriarchs of this town, but you put a tree in the middle of the street, and then you wonder why people run into it.
Yes, that's true. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, probably one of the reasons.
Yeah, maybe that was the difference.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's great. Thank you.
I would mention, too, that there was a time that the kids would skate on Main Street. The hotel had burnt up in 1939, and there was a vacant lot there for probably the next 15 years, right where the post office and funeral parlor are now. And that would get flooded, and kids would skate right uptown here. Yeah.
You have lots of opportunities in Vergas to enjoy Christmas. You've got your churches that have their Christmas Eve children's services and their Christmas Day services. And when I think of our veterans and those people that are overseas, we want to close it out today. Alwyn would like to read to you the Christmas truce. Now, some of you have heard the Christmas truce before, but just sit back for a second and listen to that and think of a different time, like Rodney talked about and like Alwyn talked about, and think of a different time and those men and women that were overseas and fighting for our country and what they put up with at Christmas.
The Christmas truce. In December of 1914, German troops and the Allied troops were in trenches along the Belgium and French border. From sodden trenches, soldiers shot at each other across a no-man's land strewn with injured and dead comrades. But on December 24th, at points along the Western Front, Germans placed lighted trees in trench openings, and the Allies joined them in an impromptu peace. The Christmas truce of World War I, 100 years ago this month. The truce bubbled up from the ranks despite rules against fraternization. After shouted exchanges of, "You no shoot, we no shoot," the enemies serenaded each other with carols. Others emerged from the trenches to shake hands and share a smoke. Many agreed to extend the truce into Christmas Day so that they could meet again and bury their dead. They worked together, digging the graves, and held memorial services. At one grave, a Scottish chaplain led them in the recitation of the 23rd Psalm. Troops shared food and gifts sent from home and traded uniform buttons for souvenirs. None of the men wanted to continue the war, but the top brass did and threatened to punish troops shirking duty. Both sides went on with the grim business at hand, but they fondly recalled the truce in letters sent home and in their diaries. How marvelously wonderful, a German soldier wrote, but yet how strange.
All right. You have a very Merry Christmas and a good day in Vergas.